Jesus gives 7 sure signs you are living in the last days. These 7 sure signs Jesus gives us are clear and right in front of us if we just look. Sign 1, the restoration of Israel in 1948. Sign 2, the ending of the trampling of the holy city Jerusalem in 1967. Sign 3, worldwide worship of the beast Allah, Baal in the Kaaba, and the colors of the 4 horsemen, white, red, black, and pale green. Sign number 4, there will be anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. Sign number 5, the Elamites of western Iran will come to know Christ in the last days. Sign number 6, out of the restored Israel, there will be a Jewish remnant that finds Jesus Christ as the Messiah and Son of God. Sign number 7, the Bible books of Daniel and Revelation will be unsealed. They were sealed until the last days, and no one could understand them until God revealed their true meaning. Sign 1, the restoration of Israel. The prophet Ezekiel told us that Israel would be restored in the last days. We learn in Revelation there would be 1,260 days or years in the wilderness before the woman is restored. The Bible gives us a precise timeline that begins with the last sacrifice in Jerusalem in 583 BC. 1,290 years later, the Dome of the Rock, the abomination, was set up in 688. 1,260 years later, Israel was restored in 1948, and 42 months of days later, in 1967, Jerusalem was liberated. Sign number 2 is the liberation of Jerusalem after 42 months of trampling in 1967. Sign 3 is the worldwide worship of the beast Baal, called Allah in the Qur'an, and understanding the colors of the 4 horsemen of Revelation chapter 6. The rider with a crown and a bow on the first horse was Muhammad. The second rider following him on the red horse was Abu Bakr. The third rider following him on the black horse was Umar. And the fourth rider on the pale green horse was Uthman. Just as Jesus said in Revelation chapter 6, these 4 riders would have authority over 1/4 of the world's population. At the fall of Babylon, Baal was sent down into Sheol. At the time of Paul and the apostles, Baal was held in the abyss. The man of lawlessness was held back. Later, he was revealed to Muhammad, calling himself the angel Gabriel. Baal gave Muhammad the false story about Jesus in the Qur'an. Baal took away the atoning sacrifice of Jesus in the Qur'an. This is the bitter water that kills many, described in Revelation chapter 9. Mecca is the woman in the wilderness, the harlot of Revelation. The image of the beast is the Kaaba in Mecca. The bitter water described in Revelation are the verses in the Qur'an that take away the atoning sacrifice of Jesus Christ. Qur'an 4:157. They said, "We have killed the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, the messenger of God." However, they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, though it was made to appear as if it had been so. Those who disagree are confused, having no real knowledge to follow, only supposition. They certainly did not kill him. This is the bitter water described in Revelation. The fourth sign is the anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. Jesus said, "There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars." On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. People will faint from terror, apprehensive of what is coming on the world, for the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Luke 21, verses 25 to 26. Sign number 5 is that the Elamites of western Iran find Jesus Christ and are saved. The beast Baal is worshipped in the Kaaba today. The Elamites were deceived by Muhammad, but God is reaching out to them in the last days to give them the true story of Jesus so that they can be saved. The prophet Jeremiah tells us in chapter 49, verse 39, "But it will come about in the last days that I will restore the fortunes of Elam, declares the Lord." You see, the real truth of Jesus is not what is taught in the Qur'an. For the first 1,300 years of Islam, there were less than 500 believers in Jesus Christ in Iran. Over the last 40 years, the number has grown to nearly 1 million. The Holy Spirit is being poured out in the last days, and God is restoring the fortunes of Elam, just as He said He would in the last days. The sixth sign is that after Israel is restored, there will be a Jewish remnant that finally understands Jesus Christ is the Son of God and the Messiah. Shortly before His crucifixion in Jerusalem, Jesus told the leading Jews, "For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.'" After 2,000 years, Jewish believers are saying this today. The seventh sign is that the books of Daniel and Revelation are now unsealed and revealed by God to give their true meaning. Daniel asked the angel what the visions meant. He was told this. He replied, "Go your way, Daniel, because the words are rolled up and sealed until the time of the end." Daniel 12, verse 9. Daniel and Revelation are telling us about a vast spiritual war. This is not about a human Antichrist. The Antichrist is a spirit. The Antichrist is Baal, released from the abyss. Jesus Christ will return and crush Baal on the last day. Jesus has given us 7 sure signs that we are living in the last days.